Yo, what's going on, everybody? We got One Hit Wonderland, Zoot, Suit, Riot by Cherry, Poppin, Daddies. I don't know. We're just making up songs at this point. Like, Todd, are we running out of one hit wonders or what, dude? Like, is this even like real? This is probably like some fake shit. Who knows, bro? But yes, I'm back. It's been a while. It's like, what, like almost a month at this point, guys. I'm officially a graduate of high school. I'm a big boy now. We're out in the real world. And I've been so busy. Dude. Like, first I had like finals and all that, and I was still doing like AP exams after I graduated. So, and then I went to a bunch of parties and meet up with a bunch of people, family, friends, yada yada yada. It's been a lot, dude. And my June's about to be even crazier. Okay, I'm going to Japan in June, so that'll be pretty fun. I'm gonna be doing a bunch of stuff there. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to record there, so hopefully, I will have some pre-recorded stuff there put up. If I use up all the time I have today, then maybe I'll have enough videos, keep you guys going. Then I'm going on a cruise later. Then I'm going to California later in that month, and I have orientation. I have advising for college. I'm going to college. Obviously, we're not just look. I can't live off the YouTube money, guys. I'm sorry, I can't. Okay, I need to get an education. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, dude. And I'm going to Jane Remover concert, so that should be pretty fun. If you're going, let us know in comments down below. Let's go. Yeah, so I've never heard of this song. I don't know what the fuck this shit is. Probably some song made in the 1900s that boomers probably remember. I don't know. Or maybe it's a big ass song that I might know. Who knows?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to One Hit Wonderland. Where
definitely 1900s.
Artists know for only one song. Today we look backwards to the distant year of 1938. An age of crime, scandal, and dance floors filled with men and women doing the Lindy Hop to the sound of big bands playing the swing music.
Did the charts even exist back then? Does this even count?
Did I say 1938? I meant 1998.
Oh.
Yes, 1998. Also an age of scandal.
When
crime,
did like
and
Billboard charts like actually start
swing
becoming a thing?
music. Throw back a bottle of beer. What are we doing?
Oh, is this it? Yeah, I've never heard this shit at all.
Who the hell are these whipped up jitterbugging guys with the
That's
suits
what I'm
and the
thinking.
fedoras and the swinging hands?
Who's your daddy? Yes, I am.
This was a real thing that happened, and it wasn't just a song, it was a way of life.
Swing is suddenly everywhere, from the hottest clubs to high school gyms, and even the internet.
I don't even know how to explain it. Like,
Alright,
imagine if tomorrow you woke up and found out that steampunk was sweeping the nation. And you would hear
What?
steampunk music on the radio, and you would see people dressed up in stupid monocles and stuff in commercials. And your girlfriend
off
would say,
that.
hey, why don't we sign up for this steampunk event and do that every week or two? That's kind of what it was like. And maybe I was just like the right age for it, but this whole thing looms large in my memories. To me, it holds a place like Vanilla Ice, an inane, meaningless blip in pop culture, and yet utterly essential to the story of 90s music. And this was a real pop hit. You would hear this regularly on the radio next to NSYNC and Third Eye Blind. There were a few swing songs that rose to prominence, but for me, the only one that mattered was Zoot Suit Riot. I think that's the consensus, right? Squirrel Nut Zippers, Jump Jive and Wail, both fine, I guess, but I will never, ever forget Zoot Suit Riot. I was only barely getting into popular music. I was only vaguely aware of The Boy Is Mine or Believe, but Zoot Suit Riot I knew back and forth. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what a zoot suit was. I just knew that this song was strutting and cool, and it was retro enough that I could listen to it without upsetting my parents. But I didn't know anything about the band, who were called the Cherry Poppin' Daddies. Jesus Christ. Actually, my parents probably would have been upset if they'd heard that.
Can't run fast enough.
Wait a minute. Oh, I just got the name. Oh my god. I just got that. That took a while.
Poppin' Daddies
That took
made
way
the
too
world
long. I
swing for a
just
brief
got
moment
the
in
name.
time.
I just got it.
And then that Zoot Suit Riot was put down, and Zoot Suits became a dusty relic of the past yet again. To this day, I'm not convinced it actually happened. Well, we're gonna get to the bottom of this, so
Tune in, loyal listeners, as we discover the truth about these foully named gang of hoodlums causing mayhem in their finely tailored suits. Bring it on home, boys.
Going home through your cold black hair. Flow Daddy.
the swing revival. Okay, I've read the official histories of how this happened, which is that the subculture launched in San Francisco in the late 80s and early 90s and started spreading from there, but that's not really satisfying to me. This is just my own speculation, but I am going to point the blame at Jessica Rabbit. I'm just saying, she was a big deal at the time, a lot of merch of her everywhere, and then for the next few years, there were a lot of knockoff Jessica Rabbits. I'm just saying, retro pulp suddenly became very popular for movies, and I think the music and the subculture followed that. That's my theory. Anyway, around that same time in the late 80s, there was a guy named, I kid you not, Steve Perry. Not that Steve Perry, a different one. Steve came from upstate New York, but he went to college in Eugene, Oregon, and got involved in the punk scene, even though the Northwest was all
did a
about
quick
grunge
side
at
quest.
that point, which he was not a fan of. He eventually got tired of punk too, because they were all just copying better bands, and he wanted to move forward. And he got his big idea when his mom sent him an album of old jazz songs. He fell in love and started his new band, the Cherry Poppin' Daddies. Okay.
Oh yeah!
A bunch of you who were too young to remember it have been just staring at that name like, what the fuck? Okay, they say they got it because they heard an old-time jazz song that went, I'll be your cherry poppin' daddy, and they loved it. You know, just cool old-timey slang for a hot jazz combo. It's not necessarily sexual, and even if it is, it's not necessarily about pedophilia or incest. Still, I wouldn't have named my band that. And there were probably a lot of bands lucky that they didn't go with the first name they thought of. But you gotta understand, it was the 90s, you know? Different time. Except it wasn't different at all. There were protests right from the get-go. They've been denying the name was dirty since 1990. And intermittently throughout their career, they've renamed themselves the Daddies.
The
but
Daddies.
They've never really shed it
That's so
permanently,
stupid, bro.
nor have they ever said what song they supposedly got it from. From interviews, I
That's
get
like
the
me
feeling they
naming
pick a
myself
different
like
name in
racist. And I'm like,
hindsight,
no, guys,
but
like,
also,
oh
my God,
I
are
heard
you
it from a
people
song,
still
and
on
this
that?
is the.
Get over it.
Come on, bro.
Well,
I mean, you kind
I'm
of
sure you
did
guys
it
in
to
the
yourself.
band are tired
Like,
of it. It's still novel to me. Anyway, here is their first album.
Like, no,
Racist
it's
System,
not what you think
which
it is.
Probably also their explanation on how they picked their name. You can hear on that first song, they were on that swing thing right away. And then you hear the rest of the album.
okay.
Yeah, it's mostly a funk rock kind of thing. Fishbone is the closest band I can think of. Definitely not swing. And if you look at this early concert footage, you can tell this is a completely different band. Just looking at them, I would assume they were Chili Peppers ripoffs or something. Oh, and fun fact, Steve is credited on this album as MC Large Drink. I don't know. Anyway, the Virgin Bee
Oh,
Flowering Fodder...
guys, I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting a little mad. Okay, I've been to McDonald's recently, and I've ordered a medium drink because I think their large drink can be too much at times. You know, like sometimes you just want like, you don't want like the small is too small, and then the large is too large. So I want the medium. I get the medium. You know, even though it's a better deal for the large, but I don't want all that. I just give me the medium mid around, you know, liquid. But McDonald's, they're finessing us because they've made the medium drink smaller. I've noticed because I've been ordering medium drinks for like years at this point, and they made it smaller, which I don't like, which now they're forcing me to get the large drinks, but they didn't make the large drinks smaller. The large drinks are still large.
Figures wouldn't put out a second album until 1994, which was also the year of The Mask,
Shrinkflation.
which was the
That's what
first
that is,
major
or I don't know,
exposure
whatever
for
it is.
retro swing. So they were well poised with that next album, Rapid City Muscle Car. Let's check that out.
Yeah, we're on the search. Yeah, we're on the search. Yeah, I'm always searching. Yeah, I'm on the search.
He's always searching.
Rockabilly. Okay, yes, they are still a swing band. There's songs in here like Ding Dong Daddy of the D-Car line.
I swear, they're just putting like random words together for some of these songs.
Which was a real guy in the tabloids who drove trains and got caught marrying 11 different women at the same time. Yeah, actually, a lot of their swing songs are about
thought he was
gross
Drake.
dudes, actually.
Daddy broke my fingers. Drunk daddy done kicked my hair. Beyond the little sleeves, he's Mr. White Keys.
Which also makes me suspicious about how innocent that band name is. But there's also a ton of other stuff. Here's one that sounds like early B-52s.
Like what?
What I'm
Trapped inside the planet of the roller skating bees? Like what? Like what?
saying is they're all over the place.
I mean, I guess the music can back up, you know,
Then
the
came 1996, which saw the
outrageous
release of Swingers,
song title.
which made people realize that
So-
not only were there new swing bands, but an entire swing dancing subculture of people who dressed up in ties and polka dot dresses and threw each other in the air. And the soundtrack made sort of stars of the similarly, though less offensively named, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. So with all that happening, it was clearly time for the cherry pop.
Man, we got a lot of
to
daddies
stop just
around.
dabbling
Holy
in it
shit.
And really go all in on the hottest new music trend of the mid-90s, ska. Yeah, this was another trend that the Cherry Poppin' Daddies were early to. There's some ska
I don't know what
songs
that
on
is.
second
I don't know
album
what
and
ska
even
is.
more on their
I don't know what
third.
that is.
Arguably, it's an entire separate career for
Ska
them.
boy-
And I've always kind of known that ska and swing were connected, and now I have my transitional fossil. In fact, they say it was the guy from the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones who told them, "Hey, you guys kind of look like shit. Why don't you put on a goddamn suit?" But at this point, they are still
What is
not
ska? Tell me.
really
I don't know what that
all
is.
these
Tell me in the
records are
comments, bro.
independently released. So even
I've
though the
never heard
swing
of that.
revival was really kicking off at this point and they wanted to get on that, they just didn't have any money.
Uh-oh. Can't make the scene if you don't have the green.
Me
Did
after
not
college.
have the funds to make a new record. So they thought, well, why don't we just repackage all the swing
I
songs
don't
we've
know what that
already
was.
recorded? And that's actually a pretty smart move, I'll admit. And to fill out their compilation record, they recorded a couple new songs with the tiny amount of cash they had left. The result. Yeah, I like the Donkey Kong beat they got going here. After they released Zoot Riot, early in 1998, The Gap put out an entire ad with swing dancers set to jump, jive, and wail, which a lot of people
Sure.
will say is the tipping point of the entire movement.
I was pre-Khakis commercial, and don't you forget it.
The entire scene was poised for a true mainstream breakthrough. And around the same time, the Daddies got snapped up by a major label who put all their backing behind Zoot Riot. K-Rock in LA jumped on the track, they made a video that MTV picked up, and pretty soon everyone was unwillingly forced to know the words
Mojo
Cherry
Jojo
Poppin'
Records.
Daddies.
You guys are great. I thought they were a lot of fun. Please welcome Cherry Poppin' Daddy.
Who's that whispering in the trees?
I spent most of my childhood missing everything that my friends knew about. This one I knew. To me, the entire swing scene, the entire year of music was defined by Zoot Riot. All us little kids were singing Riot, and not a single one of us had a clue what a Zoot Suit was. Probably not a Riot either.
I don't know. What
We
is
certainly
this? I
didn't
don't know what a
Benny
Zoot Suit
Goodman's
is.
Sing, 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 which is the song it most resembles. Although maybe I guess we knew it as the Chips Ahoy theme. Honestly, I think Chips Ahoy is a big part of the swing revival also. But the Daddies are
Alright.
not just ripping off the music of
Hey,
two
if you ever,
generations ago.
bro, if you ever get Chips Ahoy, okay, you know what you need to do. The one you need to get, okay, get the chips specifically. Get the Chips Ahoy chewy Reese's cup version. They put the little Reese's in the chewy, and then you take a oh shit. Very good, very
But
very
they
good.
are actually
No
going
cap.
somewhere with this. So, the Zoot
Chips
Suit
Ahoy is so
riots
much better than
were an
Oreos. It's
actual
crazy.
Historical event. Zoot Suits are these big.
I mean,
giant
chocolate
suits
chip
from the 30s and
cookies will
40s,
always
which,
like
at
be the
time, were
goats of
flashiest,
like
most
dessert. Let's be
tripped
honest.
out
So.
pimp ass outfits you could wear. And they were especially popular with the Mexican kids in LA. And those kids started getting attacked by American servicemen because wasting that much fabric during the war, I mean, that's unpatriotic. We need that for parachutes or whatever. Let's be real about this. It was just an excuse to be racist to Mexicans and any other non-whites they ran across. And eventually the kids started fighting back, and violence lasted a good week. It's a very serious incident of racial tension, and it does not really have anything to do with the song. I think the band's mostly just exploiting the imagery of the name. You know, it's retro, but it's violent. And to be fair, it is a ridiculous name. We don't call the LA riots the FUBU riots. Or, actually, hold on. Maybe I'm not giving enough credit. Like, Steve comes from the punk scene. He's got the right to write about riots, right? Right to riot?
Pipes and chains and swinging hands.
The song's only ambiguously about racism at best, but it's definitely about violence.
Now you sailors know where your women come for love.
These sailors are upset because we're with their women, which is probably what the actual riots are about. Well, if you're mad, come rumble. We'll kick your ass.
Fat cat came to play. Now you can't run fast enough.
Just admire the swagger of it. Like, Jump, Jive, and Wail is clean. Zoot Riot is nasty.
Roll Daddy.
This song doesn't sound dusty or black and white, it's alive. The horns sound absolutely sleazy. There's all this weird horror imagery in the video going on, and Steve is making the most of his big moment. He's got his eyebrows working all over the place like he's Jim Carrey. It's a song about looking good, stealing your girl.
You are so money and you don't even know it.
There's a shout out to Brian Setzer himself.
Stray cat frontin' out an AP band.
Setzer is, he's formerly the lead singer of the Stray Cats and now one of the big names of the swing revival. It's like the entire band knew that this was their scene's big
that actually
moment
makes
and they were
sense.
going to make the most of it.
In my veins, hot music ran.
Like the scat singing. By the time he starts scatting on the bridge, it's like an Uptown Funk level of audacity, just one hook after the other. I like that he's also having
My
fun
brain
with
is
the letter
too
Z.
dirty.
Zoot, zoot, zazzow. And also, fun fact, that little bit at the end,
I think I'm about ready to sing it.
yeah, he said that because the entire recording is a rehearsal take. And he was signaling that he was ready to do it for real, but the engineer was like, no, I think we got it. And he was right.
Damn, that's actually
This
crazy.
Didn't need any more. It's a real killer of a song. No wonder it was everywhere. Or not so everywhere. Zoot Riot never actually charted that high. The Hot 100 was completely inaccurate in the 90s, but even on their more reliable radio airplay charts, it only barely broke the top 40 on the pop stations. Really? I heard this all the time next to Getting Jiggy With It and Backstreet's Back. But according to the stats, it was actually a bigger hit on the alt-rock stations. And you know what? Actually, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Both ska and swing overlap with a strain of alternative rock I think of as the wacky 90s, where all sorts of self-consciously goofy crap got big.
And my penis was missing again. This happens all the time. It's detachable.
These were the years of Beck and Presidents of the United States of America and Smash Mouth and a billion other novelty songs. That's where all this stuff fits to me, somewhere in there. Unfortunately, that also meant everyone knew where this was going. The swing revival was like 1 week, or tub.
No!
It was a novelty. Eventually, people were gonna notice what year it was and be like, what am I doing? Does it matter? Part of the reason I remember the swing revival so vividly is I remember how quickly it disappeared. It was still everywhere at the start of summer vacation, and by the time we all went back to school, it was gone. I'd never realized before then that things could vanish that quickly. They could have released the next Smells Like Teen Spirit and no one would have heard it. Their next single, which was not the next Smells Like Teen Spirit, was called Brown
Really?
Derby Jump.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be.
Now, if there's one thing we wanted in songs in the 90s, it was a bunch of guys shouting jump. So good try at least. Anyway, I assumed Brown Derby was about their dumb hats, but reading the lyrics, I believe it's actually about heroin.
A 3-year trip on the dragon till the clinic had to get me clean.
And that's maybe a too intense a subject. Like, no, we left that after 95. But basically anything they could have released had no chance.
She's not a talker, her teeth are big.
I dug up a bunch of old interviews from 98, and a whole lot of the interviewers are asking, so this is a fad, right? Or one of the guys would just bring it up unprompted. Like, I don't know if I like the record companies pushing our scene so hard. They're gonna turn it into a fad. And that's basically what happened. Some normies would look at the paper and they'll go like, hey, there's a new swing club in town. Why don't we check it out? And all they'd hear is a bunch of former high school third chair trombones who slapped together a band to chase trends, and they'd suck, and then no one would go back. Well, what about the jazz scene, right? Swing's a form of jazz. Boy, the jazz people did not like this genre. Those guys were a bunch of snobs, and they thought the swing revival was a joke.
I mean, that makes sense.
That's probably why I haven't heard a single one of these swing songs in a year that begins with a 2. We love nostalgia, but I guess not nostalgia for nostalgia. How many of you even remember this? Do any of you have any idea what I'm even talking about?
I wasn't even thought of yet, so I can't tell you.
And as far as
I don't know, maybe my sperm cell was thinking about it. I don't fucking know.
Probably didn't help, but
maybe.
What reviews I found of them tend to treat them like a bunch of stupid, snarky hipsters.
I don't know what my dad was doing in '98.
Great music. I admit my ear is not trained well enough to tell the difference. But in any case, with all that going on, the label started looking at them like day-old half-price sushi. So when they finally put out their first real major label album, 2000's Soul Caddy, they were already deader than Glenn Miller himself. As far as I can tell, there is no video for the lead single, a glam rock pastiche called Diamond Light Boogie.
Diamond light, turn on your light. Diamond light boogie, sparkling bright.
Clearly they were trying to move away from swing, but the label had no interest in trying to promote a non-swing Cherry Poppin' Daddies, and they didn't think anyone else would want that either. So much so that they sent the single to radio without their name on it, hoping they could trick DJs into playing it. So whether they stuck with
How do you
the
even
swing
do that?
revival or tried to abandon ship, they couldn't win either way.
They
Also, by Perry's
sent
own
their
admission, he was
song
getting
without
kind
their
of
name.
cranky and
Who the
bitter
fuck?
about things
Who
at
the fuck
this
made
point.
it?
I'm nostalgic for that good old atomic bomb.
Completely predictably, the band shut down. Perry went back to grad school and he got a degree in
No.
molecular biology.
Really?
I understand he's worked on some interesting things in genetics.
Nice.
Surprisingly enough, yes. After an 8-year hiatus of, I assume doing science and also starting an ironic hair metal band, the band reunited in 2008. And this is the point in the episode where I kind of speed through the rest of the discography because obviously they're not going to trouble anyone who's not deep into the scene. But, I think I would be doing them a real disservice if I did that because, boy, they've put out a lot of shit. They've been more productive in their last 25 years than when they were coming up. I feel like I would be remiss if I did not mention their 2000 song, Swingin' with Tiger Woods.
You'll be a mighty swinger, just the same as Tiger Woods.
Or their 2013 comeback single, I Love American Music.
Play it again, Sam, I need American music.
All the way to 2026's Street Boners.
Get boners in the street.
Yeah, they're still not for me. But God knows they're trying, and they just keep putting out stuff.
I mean, they're not terrible.
A whole
It
bunch
sounds
of
terrible.
videos. The last few are
apart
AI,
from the
unfortunately, but
Street Boner.
regrettably, that's every legacy band. So don't check in on any of your old faves' YouTube pages. But yeah, they still go out on tour and everything. I imagine if you're like one of the only swing bands who ever had any chart success, you can book tours for the rest of your life. There was a
Probably
band
got
I
like
was
a bunch
really
of old
into,
people who were
Electric
probably
Six.
like loyal to you. So
Most people only knew 2 songs. I fell off of them after the 4th album, but every time I check in on them, they're still doing their thing. I imagine it must be true for Cherry Poppin' Daddies also. Cherry Poppin' Daddies has to be someone else's Electric Six or Ween or They Might Be Giants or whatever. There's got to be at least a handful of strange people out there for whom this band is entirely on their wavelength, and good for them.
sure.
Can I just scat sing my answer so I don't have to really answer this? Zazazazazazaz. Look, I listened to a whole lot of swing and non-swing music from this band, and I didn't hear anything that struck me anywhere near the level of Zoot Riot. But this band is still going out there 3 decades later, so somebody must like them beyond their one big single. Maybe that someone is you. But as a chart presence, no, this band was simply too tied to a brief fad to have a second chance. And even if swing had lasted, they were
it's fine. It's not my thing though. So
and pretty soon after they hit,
maybe you like it. I don't know.
I really can't imagine a world where Cherry Poppin' Daddies scored a second single. I mean, what are we talking about? I found them kind of mostly annoying. Honestly, I wish I liked them more than I did. But they never picked a sound. They were never going to have anything more lasting than a cult fan base. Regardless, Zoot Riot absolutely earned its place as the biggest song of the swing revival, which, yeah, is kind of like being the hottest Denny's waitress in the county. But even just on its own merits, I will defend Zoot Riot. I think it deserves to be looked at as a great song, no matter how ridiculous it's seen, or its circumstances, or the fact that its success in no way makes any sense.
I think I'm about ready to sing it.
Oh, you ready? Can't wait to hear it.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
Guess we didn't
really
hear it.
did just choke ourselves to death on irony back in the 90s, didn't we? We're going to be debating about whether our hipster snark ruined the world forever. And in fact, here's one major example. South Park. Is it still a brilliant satire that takes down both sides? Or did it create a generation of lazy idiots and casual racists that led us directly to our current moment of crisis? Or maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Family Guy better.
I learned something today.
Well, my dear close personal friend Lindsay
better.
Ellis has a whole new video about South Park and its recent decision to become the leaders of the resistance.
Hot take, a lot of new Family Guy is still
there
good.
Still a special
Don't care.
place in hell for South Park?
I'll watch it.
You can watch that video exclusively on Nebula.
When I catch an episode, it's not terrible.
It's home to smart, weird, one-of-a-kind shows
I've never
that
been
you
a South
will
Park
not
guy,
find
though.
anywhere else. You'll also find exclusives from Maggie Mae Fish and FD Signifier and other people who are smarter and more talented than I am. And get this, they also give out lifetime subscriptions that last for literally as long as both you and Nebula exist. Now, usually it's $500, but if you use my code, you'll get it for only $300, so, you know, a 40% discount.
People actually use
or if
this.
you just want to do the yearly subscription,
maybe
you can get a full 50% off that, too, using my
How much
code.
do they pay Todd
So
for
that'd
these?
only be
This guy's
$30
sponsored
a year
by them
or
every
$2.50
single
a
video.
month. That's a great deal.
Shit, Nebula, if you want to sponsor me, Nebula, basically, I'm basically an ad too for you, bro. You know,
So if you want to watch
you know,
more Lindsay,
get some
use my
people,
link.
you know,
to get 50% off.
okay.
And again, that's just $30 a year or $2.50 a month.
Type shit.
Click the link,
You know,
scan
I'll
the
get
QR
you
code,
some
and
good,
start
you know,
watching now. Thank you and good night.
No, all right. Mojo Jojo Rippers. All right, cool. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care for that song. I don't. Like it's not bad, but it's like I will never turn to that. I never be like, oh yeah, Cherry Poppin' Daddies. Let me search that. Like, no, definitely not. Yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Hey, enjoy this video, subscribe to me. Remember to go subscribe to Todd and Showers, go like the original video. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.